You know, for 27 years, I was an atheist. I thought anyone who believed in a God or gods was, well, stupid or uneducated, naive, gullible, or just into the gig for money, sex, and power. I mean, after all, everyone knows that religion is just a psychological crutch for intellectual weaklings, right?
Holy shit. Even I don't think that way. Good God, man. If you believe in a God, it isn't because you're an idiot. It's because you saw evidence, and that evidence led you towards the belief in God, okay? The evidence for me led me the other way, but the evidence for a Christian led them to Christianity. Do you see what I mean? Nobody is stupid or ignorant for believing a God exists, and nobody is stupid or ignorant for believing a God doesn't exist. The only reason why you would be ignorant is if you believed something so wholeheartedly without having anything to back it up. At least Christianity has something to back it up. I might not agree with it, but it's reason nonetheless. Like faith, for example. I had faith and I prayed and God did something for me and now my life is great. Well, that's great. He has a reason to believe in God. Me, I don't. You see, that person isn't stupid. He did the experiment and he got the answer for him, which was that God exists. I did the experiment and I got the answer, which was God, that Christian God does not exist. You must have been an asshole as an atheist.
I was simply challenged by my Christian teammates on the Cincinnati Reds to read some religious books, critique them, and then share with the guys where the authors were wrong and why atheism is the only real and true outlook for anyone not deceived by fantasy, fiction, or mythology. I mean, for someone who wants to base their beliefs and values upon evidence and argument, not emotion and tradition. Now look, simply put, I set out to disprove theism, which I didn't think would take very long.
Yes, once you set out to disprove something that hasn't been disproven for thousands of years, you're probably gonna go up against a wall. And not just a wall, Donald Trump's wall. And not just Donald Trump's wall. Donald Trump's wall and the Great Wall of China. There's a reason why people still believe a God exists. There are many reasons why. Setting out to disprove theism would mean you'd have to discover how the universe came into existence without God or any gods causing it. And science has not done that. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll find out a God did do it.
But I ran into some difficulties along the way. Difficulties like Aristotle, Augustine, Aquinas. I mean, in simple terms, I was confronted with the awareness that there are really 4 big bangs that have to be accounted for, not just one. Astrophysicists tell us that this first big bang yielded only a handful of fundamental elements, and that it would take billions and billions of years for the nuclear furnaces of trillions of stars to yield the 118 elements in the periodic table. But the first theoretical cosmological Big Bang, well, it only yields matter and energy. It doesn't even begin to address the origin of life. So, how do you get life from non-life? How did abiogenesis occur? I mean, the notion that something can come from nothing. Where's the evidence? Well, you're going to need another something from nothing leap of faith, some kind of biological second Big Bang.
Oh no. So, why, oh my God. So, okay, so what you're saying is that I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
For all the mind-blowing advancements we've made in physics, biology, and chemistry in just the past 100 years, we're still no closer to making it happen. We don't have a clue. The closer we look, the wider the chasm. I mean, sure, we've learned a lot about how to manipulate life forms, how to add and subtract DNA material, even map the human genome, but we have no idea how to literally create life from dead stuff.
Okay, now you're just throwing shit at the... You're going off the rails, man. Look, let me explain. You just saying shit doesn't prove anything. It doesn't prove that your arguments are right or my arguments are wrong. It doesn't prove that my arguments are right or your arguments are wrong. You're just saying, well, we don't know, so it must have been some kind of blah. We don't know how the universe was created. We have barely anything. We don't know anything, almost. We barely know anything about how the universe was created. Second of all, we do have an idea of how life was created. There are lots of experiments that try to make life. There's even been fucking the Miller-Urey experiment with amino acids. We don't know what happened to the universe. We have some idea. It's probably possible that life did come from chemicals, but your third one is just retarded.
We still don't have a way to account for the great diversity of life forms. I mean, the huge differences between bacteria, plants, and animals. Nor do we have a way to account for the differences between man and animal. We still don't have an anthropology at this point. So we're going to need a kind of anthropological third Big Bang to account for all this.
We know how humans came from animals. Evolution. It wasn't a Big Bang. It wasn't just a random pop. There we go. Boom. Now we suddenly can think. That's not how that works. And that is not the arguments that we represent. You're just being an asshole.
Which, of course, is what Darwin was after in his Descent of Man thesis. Now, look, Darwin answered a lot of questions, but he could never answer the core question. How did evolution begin?
How did evolution begin? It's always been and always will be.
For millennia,
I'm sorry, I had to. The evolution has kind of always been. I mean, think about it. Life is suddenly created over billions of years. Eventually the chemicals do shit and create an organism, a microorganism. That microorganism, over time, it collects stuff and stuff changes in it, and it gets bigger and it gets better at living, and eventually it leads to us. Now that may sound absolutely insane, and it is. Imagine how long that took. That took extreme amounts, billions of years. How did evolution begin? Baby, it has always been there.
But hey, we're still not done describing the world that is all around us. A final Big Bang is going to be required to explain how a mechanistic animal brain can become a self-reflective human mind. Even the lowest life forms have brains and central nervous systems. I mean, how does something like that become the mind of a Michelangelo, a Shakespeare, a Beethoven? Come on, animals don't do art and they don't appreciate beauty. But the problem is even more basic than that. How do you account for free will and introspection, let alone man's pressing existential drive to ask why? Well, we're going to need some kind of psychological fourth Big Bang to account for man's moral and aesthetic sense.
Oh my fucking God, I can't, no. For fuck's sake. Alright, I'm done with this video, okay? Fuck you, I'm not watching the rest, okay? You're just being, oh my God. Evolution, alright? Even, let's just say that we don't know how evolution began. Evolution is the reason why we can do this. Think about it this way. Apes are getting really close. And I don't just mean, oh, well, they're kind of getting there. No, I mean, they're getting really close. I mean, fucking, in the wild, fucking apes, or they made fire. They made fire. That may not sound like a big deal to you, but god damn it, it's a big deal. That is proof, or at least evidence, of evolution. And how over billions of years, eventually, our minds get so advanced that we don't even know how advanced it is. It's crazy. Oh man. This guy is just throwing shit at the wall. Alright, well, I'm sorry I couldn't go through the rest of this video. It is too bad, alright? I can't do it. I have a headache. Oh, man. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I didn't enjoy the video. Bye-bye.